we're going to rotate this triangle around 90 degrees around point C using a compass, a straight edge, and a note card or some kind of a rigid right angle to get our perpendicular lines. Okay, so just like with any rotation, even though we're essentially using the note card to skip a few steps of construction using just the compass. So we could technically do it with just the compass, but this is just going to save us a little bit of time and decrease the number of steps we have to do this rotation. So like with any rotation, we always have to start out with a circle centered at our center of rotation and then through each of the image points, or pre-image points, excuse me. And so let's just start with a single circle around point X, or through point X around point C, to find where point X is going to travel along to find our 90-degree rotation. Now, to create our 90-degree angle with our note card, we're going to have some kind of a line to line it up to. And we really want a good length of a line so that we can be pretty accurate, so we're pretty sure of that angle. And so I usually like to construct the 180 rotation, or at least drawing the diameter lines lightly to line up that note card too. So we're essentially kind of doing the 180 first before we do the 90 in a way. Okay, so there's my circle. I'll draw that in a little darker so you guys can see that. But remember, on your constructions, you want to try to have your circles just dark enough so you can see them. They only need to just be there so you can find intersection points. So I'm going to go ahead and just lightly draw the diameter across this circle. And that's going to give me a nice edge to line up that note card to be accurate. Okay, so before we draw our 90-degree angle now, we have to think about the direction we're going to rotate. So we're rotating 90 degrees, and in geometry, if we're not told specifically the direction to rotate, and if the angle is positive, then we can assume that we are rotating counterclockwise. Okay, if the angle is negative, we'd be rotating clockwise that direction. So because it's positive 90, we'd be rotating counterclockwise. So I need to create my 90-degree angle off of this line that goes this direction and find where it intersects that line, which would give us a 90-degree rotation around. Okay, so the way we're going to do that is use our nice free 90-degree angle from the note card or some other kind of just rigid 90-degree angle. Note cards work great. And we want to line up one edge of the note card along the diameter line we just drew, and then we can draw with our pencil along the other edge, and as long as the corner of this note card is centered at our center of rotation, then our 90-degree angle will have our center of rotation as its vertex, and then that will be our 90-degree rotation. So we line up one edge of the note card along that diameter line, and then get the corner right at the center of rotation. And there, that gives us a 90-degree angle right there. I'm just going to lightly trace along that edge. And there you can see is our 90-degree angle. And again, that's where our angle of rotation shows up in our construction, is between the pre-image point, the center point, and the image point. That should be, whatever angle that is, should be your angle of rotation, in this case 90 degrees. Okay, so that's point X, and we just repeat that process for points Y and point Z. So we first draw a circle, at least a semicircle, to then get the diameter line, and then use the diameter line to get a 90-degree angle using our note card. Okay, so let's do point Y next. So we draw our circle, centered at C, going through point Y. And at least a semicircle. Oops. I almost knocked over my video stand. Alright, and then we're just going to lightly draw in a diameter. Okay. And then use a note card, and we line up. Again, thinking about the direction we're rotating. We're going counterclockwise 90, so I expect the point to be somewhere over here. So I'm going to make sure I draw my 90-degree angle going that direction. So I'll line up one edge to that diameter, and then get the corner in at the center of rotation. Make sure it's lined up along the bottom really nicely. And it's worth spending a few extra seconds just to make sure you're lined up really nicely. In constructions in general, if you're sloppy while you're doing it, you're going to get a really a really bad result you're not going to be satisfied with. So if you just spend a few extra seconds making sure things are lined up, making sure you get really nice right angles and things like that, you're usually much happier with your result. And it looks much cleaner. Alright, so there's y prime, and again, here is our 90-degree angle of that rotation. Okay, and let's do the same thing now for point Z. We start with a circle, start at C, going out to point Z, and drop at least a semicircle. And then we'll draw in our diameter across that circle, just lightly. And one more time. Use our note card, again line it up. I'm kind of rotating counterclockwise, 90, so I expect Z prime to be somewhere over here. So I line up the note card along the diameter and make sure I'm on the right line. So it's this line here going that direction. And get the corner of that note card on the center rotation and a 90-degree angle right there. And Z follows along its circle until it hits that point. And that gives us Z prime. And there we go. Now we just reconnect our points. And that is a 90 degrees counterclockwise rotation using a compass, straight edge, and a note card. And notice that you could have done this without the compass. We would have started with the diameter line and then still created a 90-degree angle. And the only difference then is you still need some kind of way of measuring the distance, like from the center of rotation and point Y, and then how far up that 90-degree angle do you need to go. So if you don't have access to a compass, you can still do this method. Just start with the diameter line and then create a 90-degree angle, and then just measure the distance from that point to the center of rotation, and then go that same distance from the center of rotation out that angle. So it is possible to do this particular construction without a compass, but it's nice to see with the compass visually the circles that those points are traveling on, and you really get a sense of what that rotation is. And there you go.